a, a pentagonal prism of 25 mm sides of base and 60 mm axis length rests on HP on one of its corners of the base such that the two base edges containing the corner on which it rests make equal inclinations with HP. Draw the projections of the prism when the axis of the prism is inclined to HP at 40 degrees and appears to be inclined to VP at 45 degrees. So since it is pentagonal prism rests on HP, so obviously we have to start from HP. So is one of its corners. So here this is the corner and opposite to that is a side. So here PQRST is the pentagon which is placed at the base. So it is based on HP. So you can see this, all the edges of the base are on HP. So those edges are in HP here. So when you look from the top view, ABCDE is near to the observer, so it becomes visible, and PQRS is away from the observer, so it becomes invisible, which is coinciding with ABCDE. So you're going to get everything in bracket. So this is the side of 25 mm side. So we have a 25 mm sides here. And when you look from the front view, you can see the height of the prism. The height of the prism is 60 mm. So we take 60 mm here from the height. So when you look from the front view, PQR is near to the observer, P dash, Q dash, R dash is visible, S and T is away from the observer, S dash and T dash is in bracket. So ABCDE, it is the pentagonal surface which is at the top, which is at the height of 60 mm. So from here you measure 60 mm and there you have to write the pentagonal prism of pentagon top surface ABCDE. So ABC is near to the observer, so A dash, B dash, C dash is visible, and D and E is away from the observer, so D dash, E dash becomes invisible. Since O is on the center of ABCDE, which is at the top surface, so O becomes visible when you look from the top view, and O1 becomes invisible because it looks from the top view, it is away from the observer. When you look from the front view, BC is the edge which is hiding the center O, so O dash is invisible. Similarly at QR, that is Q dash, R dash is hiding that O1 dash, so therefore O1 dash becomes invisible. Now coming to the orthographic view here. So first you draw here again we need to write a pentagon. So first we draw a vertical line and mark this point which is at a distance of 25 mm. So you make them, it is R and S because it is at the base, therefore R dash is at the base. So first you keep it in, first you take this point as R in bracket and S in bracket. Then with R as center, by using the protractor you measure an angle of 108 degrees with respect to the center, with respect to the point R, and then draw a inclined line. Similarly at the point S, again you measure an angle of 108 degree which is an included angle, and then draw a line. Then by taking a radius of 25 mm with R as center, cut an arc on that inclined line to get the point Q, and similarly with S at center, cut an arc on this to get this point T. So again with T as center, draw an arc of radius 25, again with Q as center, cut an arc on that to get this point P. Then complete the pentagon with the dark lines. Once you complete the pentagon with dark lines, and then you make that, and then you write A, B, C, D, E also. So here first you project, now you need to find out the center of the axis. So with respect to CD or RS, by using the protractor you make an angular bisector which is 108 degree by 2, which is equal to 54 degree. So by using the protractor you measure an angle of 54 degree with respect to CD and then draw an inclined line. Similarly with respect to the center of D, with respect to the edge which is CD, measure an angle of 54 degree and then draw an inclined line. These two lines will going to cut at this point, so this point will be the center. So here mark O and O1 in bracket. Then project all the points from P, Q, R, S, T to the XY line. So since P, Q, R is near to the observer, so P dash, Q dash, R dash is visible, and S and T is away from the observer, so S dash and T dash you put in bracket. since when you look from the front view, we can see the height of the prism, which is 60 mm. So from P dash you draw a vertical line and you measure a distance of 60 mm and mark this point, which is A dash. Similarly with R dash, from R dash you draw a vertical line and again you measure the distance as 60 mm and mark that point, which is C dash. Then join these two with a dark line. Then again you project this Q dash T dash to this point, which is going to B dash E dash. Similarly, you draw a vertical line here at the center to get this point O dash in bracket. You join O dash and O1 dash with a center line. So since you say it is resting on corner, so two of the base edges containing the corner makes equal inclination. So since it is resting on here, this side is corner and this side is an edge. So the edge which is perpendicular to VP, that is RS will be perpendicular to VP, so this becomes an edge. So here you have only one point which is called P dash, so obviously it becomes a corner. Two base edges containing the corner makes an equal inclinations, means that since the corner is P, the two base edges containing the corner is PT and also PQ. So these two edges makes an equal inclination. That means PT with respect to vertical line and PQ with respect to this vertical line will going to have equal angle. So that is the reason why he says two base edges containing the corner on which it rests make equal inclinations. Now then he says when the axis of the prism is inclined to HP at 40 degrees. So now since the axis makes an inclination of 40 degrees with respect to HP, so obviously that inclination what he has given is the true inclination. So now first we need to find out whether the axis is in true length or not. So this can be identified when you look from the first position. When the axis is parallel to VP, O1 is a point. So this is perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. Since it is perpendicular to HP here, this is 90 degrees to HP, and when you look from the top view, these two end points are at equidistant from the vertical plane, so obviously this is parallel to VP. So then you are going to get the true length of the axis. This true length of the axis is nothing but the 60 mm, that is the axis length of the prism. Now since this is the true inclination, so this is the true length and also the inclination is given as true inclination, therefore you copy the first position front view here by keeping P dash on the XY line such that it makes an angle of axis makes an angle of 40 degree. So you rewrite the first position front view such that the axis is inclined at 40 degrees to HP. So consider any point, because he says it is resting on corner, so this point is a corner whereas this point is an edge. So when you look from the top view, you can see this is a vertical line, so it's an edge. This is a point which is a corner. So since it is resting on corner, we are going to put P dash on XY line, and then since the axis is inclined, since axis O dash and O1 dash and the edge A dash P dash is parallel to each other, so obviously when you rotate A dash P dash is by inclined at an angle of 40 degree. So obviously Q O dash and O1 dash is also makes an angle of 40 degree with respect to HP. So by using the protractor, you keep the center at P dash and then measure an angle of 40 degree from the XY line towards the left side, and also from the same point from the right side you measure an angle of 50 degree, that is the base. Then draw these two inclined lines. Then with P dash as center, take the radius of P dash A dash, which is 60 mm, by using the compass. Then again with P dash as center, cut an arc on this line. You are going to get the point A dash. Similarly, you measure the length from P dash to R dash, and from P dash you cut an arc on this to get this point R dash S dash. Since this distance and A dash C dash distance is same, so again from A dash you draw an arc of the same radius. Then with measure the length from R dash to C dash. With R dash as center, cut an arc on the previously drawn arc to get this point C dash A dash. Then join A dash to C dash with C dash to R dash and R dash to P dash and P dash to A dash with a continuous dark line. Then you measure the length from P dash to Q dash. From P dash you cut an arc on this to get this point Q dash and P dash. Similarly from A dash you cut this point, you will get this B dash and E dash. Then again you measure the length from P dash to O1 dash. From P dash you cut an arc on this to get this point O1 dash. Similarly from A dash you do the same thing to get this point O dash. Then Join B dash E dash with Q dash to T dash with a dark line, and then mark the center line here. So this is how we will going to reproduce the front first position of the front view in the second position. So now to this we need to write the top view. So draw a vertical projector from A dash and draw a horizontal projector from A to get this point. Again draw a vertical projector from B dash E dash and draw a horizontal projector from B and E to intersect at BE. Similarly, draw a vertical projector from O dash and draw a horizontal projector from O to intersect at this point. We will go to get this point O. And draw a vertical projector from C dash D dash and draw a horizontal projector from C and D to intersect at these 2 points, which is C and D. Then name them A, B, C, D, E and O. Similarly, draw a vertical projector from P dash and draw a horizontal projector from P to get this point. Then horizontal projector from P dash, that is Q dash and T dash, and draw a vertical horizontal projector from Q and T to intersect at Q and T. Draw a vertical projector from O1 dash and draw a horizontal projector from O1 to intersect at this point O1. Similarly, draw a vertical projector from R dash S dash and draw a horizontal projector from R and S to intersect at R and S here. Then name them P, Q, R, S, T and O1. Now once you do this, now we need to join all these things, join between A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E and E to A. Similarly, P to Q, Q to T, Q to R, R to S, S to T and T to P. Then join between AP, then BQ, CR, DS and ET with a continuous thin lines. Now we will going to apply the condition of visibility. So all the exterior, first condition is all the exterior edges of the boundaries of the solids are visible. So since AB, BQ, QR, RS, ST, TE and EA are the exterior edges of the boundaries of the solids, which becomes visible. So when you look from the top view, A, B, C, D, E is near to the observer, so it becomes visible. So join between B to C, C to D, D to E and E to A, that is already joined. So you're going to get all these points visible. So once you get this, then since CDRS is a rectangular surface which is perpendicular to VP and inclined to HP, so you're going to get a rectangular surface. That surface is near to the observer, it becomes visible. So dark between CR and DS. You can see very clearly, you can see in the three-dimensional sketch here when the axis is inclined at 40 degrees. So you can see CDSR is a rectangular surface. When you look from the top surface, it is near to the observer, so it becomes visible. So this portion has become visible, so that means you are creating the opaque surface here. So naturally beneath that whatever you have, it will not be visible. So in other words, since DS is visible, so what happens with the point P to T? Since two visible edges can never cross each other, so since DS is visible, so PT becomes invisible. Similarly, since CR is visible, PQ becomes invisible. Since CD is visible, PA becomes invisible. So you make a dotted line. So only from P to O1 you mark it as a center line. Then, so this is how we will be, since PQ, ABCDE is near to the observer and ABCD is visible. So since O is on that surface, which you can see clearly in this, so O is a visible edge, O is a visible point. Similarly, a portion of PQ, RST, PQ and PT are invisible, so O1 becomes invisible. So that is the reason why O1 is in bracket. So this is how we will be able to complete the second position top view with including both visible and invisible edges.